Hey beauties and geeks, welcome to an exciting season of Beauty
and the Geek.
And the Geek.
Yeah, I gotta take these off because I can't read with these.
Geek?
Beauty. I'm more of a geek. Okay, so we gotta start out this big 2-hour episode, premiere episode of season 4. Gotta give a shout out to Chartos22.
Good luck with your auditions for
Hope
the
you
school
get a
play.
sweet part.
I can't do it right now. My wrist hurts.
Okay, so they're touting a big twist on this episode of Beauty and the Geek, which we
get to
won't
it later.
reveal to the end.
So
Calling
it's
all
audition time.
nerds.
Yeah, calling all nerds and dumb
Calling
sluts.
all boobs. Okay, so yeah, Nate and Jennie Lee were back to help out with the casting. Nate was like one of our favorites all time. They started out in Boston. Where do you go when you're in Boston?
Harvard.
MIT. I'm sure there was more. Okay, and if you like Dungeons and Dragons,
If you like Dungeons and Dragons.
if you're in the Society for Creative Anachronisms, SCA, which my husband was.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dad.
I know. And if you've got boobs and they're above a D cup and you've got dye blonde hair, you're in. They went to Washington, D.C. They went to Chicago, where they ran into Joe and Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe. And they went to Raleigh, North Carolina. They went to Little Rock. They went to L.A.
A lot of freaks there.
Yeah, and they did a little poll, and they said, what do you think is a beauty? Somebody who's blonde.
I like 5'11".
And tall. And dumb. And hot. Okay, so basically nobody showed up in Little Rock until it became like late.
But then Shay showed up.
Shay, yeah, was she in from Little Rock?
I think she was.
Well, the guy that I noticed from Little Rock, he didn't make it to the finals, but he showed up with an old Nintendo box with a computer
put, like,
in
a
it.
Computer in it, and you can put it on the TV or something.
Nate was totally, like, yeah. Oh my god, what's that? Okay, poor Nate. And then finally they ended up in Vegas. And you know what? Not one nerd showed up in Vegas. It was all dumb sluts.
It was all beauties.
And yeah, and that was the home of the creepy laugh girl.
This girl, everything she said was followed by
yeah, oh my god.
But then there was one
wow, Hugh Hefner's waiting for her. Yeah. No geeks. Wow. So the season 4 cast, we're revealing it right here. Luke, the robotics dude.
Yeah. I like Luke.
I like Luke too.
That hair's gotta go.
Dave, the LARPer, my favorite. He is
like
my
a messed
favorite.
up Will Ferrell.
I know, I love it. Josh, president of the Rubber Band Club. Will, the software engineer. Okay, Joshua. There's two. There's Josh and there's Joshua. Joshua is the astrophysicist. Yeah. He also looks like Alfred E. Newman from the Mad Comics.
No, ouch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. William, he's got millions of comic books. Or at least 10,000. I think. Tony, the biomedical engineer. Very technical. John had a perfect 5.0 at MIT.
Well, aren't you special?
Yeah. Jesse lives in his parents' basement.
Occupation, lives with parents.
I know.
That was cool.
Okay, and a collection of model waitresses, beauticians, Playboy models,
babysitters,
sorority girls, and sluts. So, the whole purpose of this is that they have something to offer each other. That's correct.
This is
a
not
learning
a dating
experience.
show.
Right. The prize is $250,000 because, let's face it, this is the CW.
It is?
Yeah, it is. So, one by one, they separated the boys from the sluts, and they had to go and introduce themselves and do their greatest talent. Yeah. We're just going to hit a few highlights.
Couple of memorable ones.
Right. Dave. My God, he pulled out those swords that made the little sound effect noises, whatever they did. It sounded like they did.
Him.
Oh, was it? Wow, that's
know.
even better.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that was a big hit. Amanda, the Playboy model, or wannabe Playboy model.
My boobs were $8,000.
And they were huge.
You went way too far.
Too big, honey. Not believable. Josh was shooting cups off the girls' heads with rubber bands.
And this one girl was like, "You don't shoot animals, do you?"
No. Natalie was an ultimate hooters guy. Natalie was like on counter.
A mouse pad.
Yeah. Cups.
Commercials.
Yeah. Okay, Joshua. Hello. Dax Flame and you were separated at birth. He couldn't do anything, so he called his mom and she told them all about him.
Mommy, tell them I'm cool.
Not going to pick teams until they have a giant slumber party.
Yeah.
Woo! Everybody out to the backyard. Everybody in the hot tub. Oh my God. Wall-to-wall hair.
No!
Get the wax out. Not yet, though.
Have you seen 40-year-old version?
Ouch. Wow. No, it's ouch. Okay. Josh, the Dax Flame guy, was the only one who got to sleep with the girls. And let me tell you, he felt pretty good about that.
I think they felt bad for him.
But he didn't know that. He thought it was because they liked him. Okay, so it's time for the first challenge.
Yes.
And
They're still individuals at this point.
Right. So they herded all the sluts off. I shouldn't say that because I don't know if they are. They herded all the dummies off and...
So they were going to have an intellectual challenge and
the boys, the nerd boys,
were going to have a social challenge.
Okay, so the boys went first and it was basically like a psychiatrist, I suppose, or clinician. And
right.
Draw your ideal woman. Okay. Stick figures, faces, saggy boobs, you know.
The
okay.
typical whatever.
Then they had a role play with the mannequin.
Molly the mannequin.
Show me on Molly the mannequin where the bad man touched you. Then the ink blots. What do you see? Ink.
I see
a
turtles.
Bug. Yeah. Okay, so now the girls was a little bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Name all the countries in alphabetical order.
Name all the countries you know.
All right.
In alphabetical order.
Alabama.
Arkansas.
Yeah, okay. You know where that's going.
Those are not countries. Come on.
Then some word puzzles. That went a little bit better. Tricycle, and you know, they kind of got that a little bit. Some of them did anyway.
Reading between the lines.
The math problem, big disaster.
It was like
Don't
a
these girls
percent
shop?
thing.
They shop, though. They should know this. Come on. Then a reading test with big words like ubiquitous and...
other things.
Yeah. That I can't remember right now, and I didn't write them down because I'm like half asleep. So, the stupidest people in the group and the most unsociable were Shay and Joshua, the Dax Flame guy.
So, in a twist, they got to pick the teams.
And their
all
own
of the
teams. Right. The girls went to talk to Dax Flame.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys went and talked to Shay.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Shay and Joshua didn't communicate very well because some of the teams that they picked were not so good. So, of course, Shay and Joshua copped out and decided, well, we're just going to be a team together since we both suck.
Yeah.
So, Amanda got paired up with Tony. Jasmine got paired up with David.
Uh-oh.
And David said there is no way that I want Jasmine. So,
he didn't feel like they would be able to communicate.
And I'm pissed because he's my favorite nerd. How dare you insult him? He's going to take out his fake sword and chop you in half. Natalie is paired up with John.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Jen and William. Rebecca and Will.
I don't have all their faces.
I know. We're
yet.
just, yeah, so when you watch this later on, you'll be like, oh, that,
I know Holly and Josh.
Yes.
Holly wanted to be with Luke, and Luke wanted to be with...
Right.
Ah!
Spit it out.
I'm feeling like
Katie
a
got
loser right now.
Yeah, Katie got set up with Luke, but Luke and Holly really both wanted to be together.
Yeah.
So now the big twist, kids. See if you can follow along. There's going to be one reverse couple.
Yeah.
The reverse couple is going to be a nerd girl and a hot guy. Yeah, he looked like way too much time on his looks for a guy. 'Cause,
And the girl, yeah, she was a nerd, but that's not as bad as it gets. I have seen worse. I have seen some shiz.
Where's the monobrows? Come on.
I know.
This is like one of my favorite shows since season 1, and I think this year is going to be, this season's going to be really, really, really spectacular.
Alright, so anyway, they showed scenes for the season. It looked pretty hot.
Looked like some little romance going on. I wasn't sure who it was because I wasn't sure if that was them before or after the makeovers.
Yeah, makeovers looked insane.
Yeah, that one guy with the blonde hair.
With the...
Yeah, oh my goodness.
They got rid of all that, and it was pretty good.
So until next week on Beauty and the Geek,
Much
much love.